Welcome to a special podcast series dedicated to accelerating action for women in leadership, STEM, and gender equity. Throughout this series, we will explore stories, challenges, and insights that empower women and drive change. In today's episode, Women in Leadership, we are tackling what it really takes for women to thrive in leadership. Forget the cliché. This is about getting real with the challenges that exist, identifying what still need to change, but also celebrating the win. And to explore this, I'm joined by Alexandra Arsamado, Operational Director at Amaris Consulting in Spain. Alexandra is an experienced leader who is all about driving change and creating inclusive work culture. Alexandra, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's a pleasure. Let's start with your journey. Could you tell us a bit how you got to where you are today?
Sure. My background is in informatics engineer, and I had the chance to live and work in different countries, including Italy, Ecuador, and Spain. I've spent a lot of time in male-dominated fields, especially in tech, so I know what it's like to be a minority in a room. Now, as an operational director at Amaris Consulting, I led efforts to enhance efficiency, grow the business, and foster an inclusive environment where everyone can succeed.
That's an incredible journey. And with all of these different experiences, I'm just a bit curious on how are these international opportunities shape your leadership style today?
Living in different countries has taught me adaptability, patience, and the importance of understanding different perspectives. In Ecuador, I've learned the value of a more hierarchically leadership style where respect for authority is crucial. In Italy, I found a balance between passion and strategy, which really helped me understand how to lead with energy while keeping an eye on the bigger picture. Then, in Spain, I've embraced a more collaborative and agile style. All these experiences combined have shaped me into a leader who values structure, but also the flexibility to adapt based on the situation and the culture I'm working with.
Okay, and if leadership styles were cities, which city would best describe your own leadership style?
I would say Madrid, fast-paced, dynamic, and full of energy, but also welcoming and open to innovation.
That sounds amazing. And I'm sure it's given you great insight into what it means to lead as a woman. According to a 2023 McKinsey and Company report, women now hold 28% of C-suite positions globally. What do you think are some of the biggest barriers women still face in leadership?
I think the biggest barriers are visibility, confidence, and bias. So often, women are highly skilled but have a harder time putting themselves forward. This isn't about lacking ability, it's about the discomfort around self-promotion, which can sometimes come across as arrogance, when in reality it's just confidence. And then there is implicit bias. A lot of time, people don't even realize they're doubting a woman's capability, simply because she doesn't fit the traditional leadership mold.
Very interesting. We hear a lot about breaking the glass ceiling, but it's almost like we are dealing with invisible walls we didn't even know, right? And you mentioned before that you have a background in IT and engineering field that are still quite male dominated. And I was wondering if you have ever personally faced gender bias in your career. And if so, how did you handle it?
Absolutely. What strikes me the most now is how many women still hesitate to apply for roles unless they meet 100% of the criteria. The problem is not about competence, it's about confidence. I always try to remind women in interviews that they don't need to tick every single box to be qualified. Sometimes the most important skills aren't the technical ones. They're the soft skills that allow you to navigate leadership, solve problems, and adapt to challenges. One of the most crucial, resilience. Technical knowledge can be learned, but the ability to handle pressure, communicate clearly, and keep pushing through obstacles, that's what truly sets a leader apart.
That is so true. And I think a lot of people, women including, underestimate how transferable their skills are. If we wait until we were fully ready to take the leap, we will never get started. So, what do you think are the key quality or skills women need to thrive in leadership role?
Leadership is all about balance. I've often felt pressure to lead like a man, but the key is finding your own leadership style. You don't have to suppress your natural strengths to fit a mold. Leadership isn't just about driving results, it's also about lifting others up. And also, having mentors who truly empower you can make a huge difference.
And did you have any mentor or role model who influenced your leadership journey?
Yes, absolutely. Within the Amherst Consulting, Daniela Roldan Alzate, director of Colombia, has been an amazing influence. She really helped me shape my confidence. I also learned a lot from Kaye Kuchera, Southern Europe AVP, who trusted me and taught me so much. Outside of work, I've gained a lot from podcasts, especially Mel Robbins and Isa Garcia, that is Ecuadorian like me.
It is clear that challenges like bias, confidence gaps, and the way leadership is viewed are still a big part of women's leadership journey today. But we are not just here to talk about the obstacle. We also want to explore what we can do about it. So, Alexandra, what step can organization take to really accelerate women's path to leadership's role?
Quotas. It's a bit a double-edged sword. Yes, they open doors, but they need to be paired with real, tangible support. Companies need to invest in mentorship, flexible policies, and development programs, not just tick boxes. And workplaces should let women lead in their own way without feeling forced to fit an updated leadership mold.
That's such an important point. And it's not just about getting women into leadership role, it's about making sure they stay here and actually thrive. What advice would you give to a young woman who aspires to leadership roles? Or if you could whisper one piece of advice to your younger yourself before your first leadership role, what would it be?
Two things: fake it until you make it, or more, fake it until you become it. And believe in yourself before anyone else does. Women often wait for external validation, but the truth is confidence comes from within.
Self-empowerment over external validation. I love it. Thank you so much, Alexandra, for sharing your inspiring journey and insight. Any final word for our listener?
Fantástica sin excusas. Be amazing without excuses. This is the title of my podcast, which you can find on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The idea is to give back to help women who are in similar positions feel seen, heard, and empowered. I wanted to create a space where women share their real stories, the struggles, the breakthroughs, and the lessons learned to inspire and support each other.
Okay, and before we wrap up, let's quickly recap some of the key insights from today's discussion. So, women still face confidence gap and bias, but resilience and self-belief are game changer. Mentorship and sponsorship are crucial for women moving through leadership. Organizations need to go beyond quotas and invest in solid support structure for female leaders. Leadership is about authenticity. Women shouldn't feel pressure to conform to traditional style. And most importantly, believe in yourself before others do. Thank you, Alexandra, for such an insightful discussion.
Thanks for having me. And remember, the only limits is the one you set for yourself. So go out there, break those barriers, and never stop believing in your potential.